Hey, before we start this insane story, a man got hit by an atomic bomb. He survived. 3 days later, it happened again. Same guy, different city. And somehow, he lived through both. I'm not kidding. This is real. Drop a comment right now and tell me where you're watching from, because you need to hear this story. Imagine you're walking to work, mind wandering, thinking about your family, and then in one blinding second, the entire world explodes around you. Now imagine surviving that. Now imagine it happening twice. And here's the kicker, the second bomb? He walked right into it. On purpose. But we'll get to that in a second. His name was Tsutomu, 29 years old. Naval engineer, one of those guys who could design an entire oil tanker in his head. But all that mattered to him right now, getting home. 3 months away from his wife Hannah and baby Kenzo. 3 months too long. And he had no idea this last day was about to become the worst day in human history. For 3 months, he'd been living away from home in Hiroshima, designing a new tanker. 3 long months away from his wife Hannah and their baby boy Kenzo. And today, August 6, 1945, was finally his last day. He could already taste freedom. One more shift at the shipyard. Then he'd catch the train home. The morning air was thick and humid. His shirt stuck to his back as he walked the familiar route, already daydreaming about Hannah's cooking, about holding Kenzo, about sleeping in his own bed. He didn't notice the single plane overhead. Not yet. Nobody did. And that's the thing about the end of the world, it starts quiet. Then he heard it. A low drone. Different from the usual planes. He looked up. A lone B-29 bomber, slicing through the pale sky. Something dark tumbled from its belly, falling, and then the sky ripped open. A light so bright it burned through his eyelids. White, pure, blinding, like staring into the core of the sun. For a split second, Tsutomu's brain screamed. Bomb. Light travels faster than sound. The shockwave is coming. He dove. Hit the dirt road hard, rolled into a drainage ditch, hands over his face, fingers jammed into his ears. Boom. The sound didn't just hit him. It lifted him. The earth itself became a wave, flipping him through the air like a rag doll. He spun once, twice, slammed back down into a field of potatoes. Everything went black. When he woke up, he thought he was in hell. Turns out, he was. And he was about to walk through a nightmare that would make grown men sick. When Tsutomu opened his eyes, he thought he was dead. Everything was dark. Not night dark. Ash dark. The kind where you can't tell if your eyes are open or closed. The air was so thick with it, he could taste metal and death on his tongue. It wasn't falling like snow. It was falling like the sky itself was falling apart. And maybe it was. His ears rang. High-pitched. Endless. He touched his face. His skin felt wrong, tight, bubbling wet. Burns. Deep ones. He stood, legs shaking, and looked toward where the city used to be. A mushroom cloud. Massive. Towering. Fire curling into the sky like a demon rising from hell. Hiroshima was gone. He stumbled forward through the ash, barely able to see 3 feet ahead. The heat coming from the ground made his boots stick to the melted road. At the shipyard, or what was left of it, he found 2 co-workers, Hideki and Jiro. Both burned, both silent. Their eyes said everything. What now? They didn't have to speak. They just moved. Someone said an air raid shelter was nearby. The 3 of them found it, went down into the cool darkness with a dozen other survivors. Faces blackened. Clothes torn. No one cried. Shock does that. Then, through the static of a broken radio, a miracle. The train station was still running. Tsutomu's heart kicked. I can get home. I can get to Hannah and Kenzo. At dawn, the 3 men set out on foot. The city was unrecognizable. Buildings turned into skeletons. Fires still burning in spots, crackling softly. The smell, burned wood, scorched metal, and something worse. Something no one should ever have to smell. Bodies. Everywhere. Charred. Melted into the street. some still sitting upright, frozen mid-motion, like they were waiting for a bus that would never come. Tsutomu kept his eyes forward. Because here's the thing, if you're watching this and thinking I couldn't do that, you're right. Most people couldn't. But when survival is the only option, you'd be surprised what you can walk through. They reached the river. The bridge was gone. Just twisted beams and rubble. We swim, Hideki said. Tsutomu looked at the water. It wasn't just water anymore. It was a graveyard. Dozens, maybe hundreds, of bodies floated face down, bobbing gently in the current. Jiro shook his head. I can't. You want to stay here? Tsutomu asked, voice flat. They waded in. The water was cold, but the bodies were warm. That's what got him. They bumped against his legs, soft and heavy, like waterlogged pillows. One rolled over, face down, eyes open. Tsutomu didn't scream. He couldn't afford to, so he just swam. Breath in, breath out. Don't look down. If you think about it, you drown. They made it across. The train station was still standing, barely. The platform was packed with burned survivors, bandaged in rags, eyes hollow. Tsutomu got on the overnight train. He pressed his head against the window and watched the ruined city disappear into the dark. I'm coming home. He had no idea home was about to become ground zero. Again. And this time, he'd be standing right there when it happened. Tsutomu arrived in Nagasaki the next morning. He went straight to the hospital. The doctor didn't recognize him at first. His face was too swollen, too blackened. But after treatment and fresh bandages, he went home. Hana screamed when she saw him. Not in fear. In relief. She held him so tight his ribs ached. Kenzo stared at the bandages, confused. I'm okay, Tsutomu whispered. I'm here. But he wasn't okay. He couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the flash. Still, the next morning he got dressed, put on his work clothes, walked to the office like a ghost. And here's what's insane. August 9th, 1945. Nagasaki. The second bomb was already loaded, already in the air. And Tsutomu? He was walking straight toward it. His boss, Mr. Nakamura, froze when he saw him. Tsutomu? What the hell happened to you? Hiroshima, Tsutomu said simply. Nakamura pulled him into a meeting room, eyes wide. Wait, you're saying you were there? In Hiroshima? One bomb wiped out the entire city. Nakamura laughed. Nervous. Not believing. Come on. That's impossible. One bomb can't, and that's when the sky turned white. The sky exploded. That same blinding white flash, but this time, Tsutomu knew what it meant. He didn't freeze. Didn't think. Just dove. Boom. The building tried to tear itself apart. Windows didn't just shatter, they turned into dust. The floor became the ceiling. Nakamura's desk flew past his head like a rocket. And in that moment, Tsutomu realized, I'm the only person on Earth who's felt this twice. When the ringing stopped, Tsutomu lifted his head. Nakamura was on the ground, bleeding from his head, staring at nothing. Tsutomu's bandages had been blown clean off. His burns were out again, raw and red. He stood, looked out the blown-out window. Another mushroom cloud, rising over Nagasaki. No. No, 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 no. Hana. Kenzo. And listen, if this story is making your heart race right now, if you're feeling what Tsutomu felt even just a little bit, then hit that subscribe button. Because stories like this, stories that actually happened, stories that show you what humans can survive, these are the stories that matter. And if you don't subscribe, honestly, I want to know why. Drop a comment and tell me. What's stopping you? Because if a man can survive 2 atomic bombs and still find the strength to keep going, you can hit one button. Just saying. Tsutomu ran. Through smoke. Through fire. Through crowds of screaming people. His lungs burned. His legs screamed. He didn't stop. When he reached his street, his legs stopped working. His house was gone. Not damaged. Not fallen down. Just erased. like it had never been there. The tree where Kenzo learned to walk? Gone. The kitchen table where Hana smiled every morning? Ash. Everything that proved his life was real turned into nothing. And he fell, knees in the dirt, screaming names no one could hear. He was broken. How could this be? What the hell happened to his wife and kid? He fell to his knees, clawing through the rubble, screaming their names. Hana. Kenzo. Nothing. He dug until his hands bled, until his voice gave out. I survived 2 bombs for this. Then footsteps. Behind him. He didn't turn. Couldn't. Because if he turned and no one was there, he'd break into pieces. Tsutomu. That voice. Hana's voice. He spun around. She stood at the edge of the street, holding Kenzo. Both covered in dust. Both alive. Both real. And for the first time in 4 days, Tsutomu cried. So here's what happened. Shortly just before the bomb dropped, Hana decided, you know, Tsutomu is burned up really bad. I'm going to go to the store and get some medicine for when he gets home from work. So she took Kenzo and she went to the store. And that is when boom, the bomb dropped. But luckily, the store was much further away from the blast than the house was. So Hana and Kenzo ended up only having small injuries. But if you think about it, if Tsutomu hadn't been hurt in that first bomb, then his family may have never gone to the store. And they probably would have died in that second bomb. That's crazy. Tsutomu lived with radiation sickness for the rest of his life. But he lived. He became a voice against nuclear weapons. Spoke to students, to governments, to anyone who would listen. He told them, I saw hell. Twice. And I'm telling you, never again. He lived to be 93 years old. And when he died, it was from cancer, likely caused by the bombs. But here's what matters. For 68 years after those bombs, he woke up every single day and chose to live. Not just survive. Live. He spoke. He warned. He fought to make sure no one else would ever feel what he felt. The man who survived hell twice became the man who refused to let hell win. And that's the real story. Now before you go, I need you to do something. If you made it this far, if you felt even a fraction of what this man went through, then you owe it to yourself to subscribe. Not for me. For you. Because you just spent however many minutes learning about the strength of the human spirit, and if you walk away without subscribing, you're basically saying that didn't matter to you. And I don't think that's true. So prove me right. Hit subscribe. Or if you're one of those people who just won't do it, fine. But at least have the guts to tell me why in the comments. What's your excuse? I genuinely want to know. Now tell me, could you have swum through that river? Could you have gotten back up after the second bomb? And here's the real question. If you survived something impossible, would you spend your life making sure it never happened again? Drop a comment. Tell me what you would have done. Because this story, it's not just history. It's a warning.